Even if you formed a positive relationship with your child's school, there may come a time when you and the school disagree over what's best for your child. Conflicts can arise over the amount of quality of services the school is providing in your child's IEP, and sometimes it may be about your child's placement. So the good news is that IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, gives you several ways to resolve disputes. And so there are 6 options that I'll go over in brief today. And if you'd like a little bit more information, please feel free to hit me up. Keep in mind that I am not a lawyer, and so don't take this as legal advice by any means, but this is just a summary of what is available through the legislation that governs special education services in schools. And so, starting with number 1, an informal negotiation, talking with the school during IEP meetings. So you're part of the IEP team, a very valuable one at that, and you can call an IEP team meeting at any time. And so this will allow all of the members of your child's IEP team to come together. That includes your child's general and special education teachers, the lead of your IEP team, you and any associated specialists. And you all come together and you discuss your child's education. And so just calling this meeting is an extremely powerful way to jumpstart a solution. Perhaps your child's IEP requires an hour of speech therapy a week, but you find out that the school has skipped over several days or weeks of therapy. You can call an IEP team meeting immediately to discuss how to fix this problem. So let me also interject here that your child is a vital part of letting you know whether or not the services your IEP team has agreed to are being met throughout the actual school day. And so follow up with them. Hey, how was speech therapy today? Hey, I know you had a test today. Did they give you a little extra time to finish it? So just asking questions to follow up is a good way to assure that your child is getting the supports they need in school. Second is mediation, and this is a voluntary process with third-party help. If the IEP process isn't working, you can ask for a mediation. This is a free, confidential, and voluntary process where you sit down with the school and a neutral third party called a mediator, and you all work out the situation. And so the mediator does not take sides or tell you what to do. Instead, they try to keep you or help you out with reaching a solution with the school that works for everybody. And so you can ask for mediation at any time, and the decisions made in that mediation are legally binding. Third, you can go through a due process hearing. And so as you notice, these are escalating higher and higher up the scale. And so third, you could do a due process hearing, and it starts with a formal complaint and it ends with a decision. And so due process is a formal way of resolving disputes under IDEA. And you start this process by filing a due process complaint. And this is written documentation that spells out your dispute with the school. The complaint must state a violation of IDEA. Okay, so that's why it's important to know how the laws of IDEA works. It might be in reference to your child's eligibility for special education services, or it could be in reference to the types and quality of services that are being received. And so due process is a serious and involved legal process, and it's good to speak with a special education lawyer before you file a complaint. Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis or Missouri area, is an awesome resource here that we have that could help support you in fighting education law. And so, number 4 is a civil lawsuit. And so that's going to court after due process. So if you don't win the due process hearing, you have the option of filing a lawsuit in state or federal court within 90 days. The school can also file a lawsuit. And so this is one of the most extreme legal options, and it does definitely require a lawyer. And you can only file a civil lawsuit after you've gone through due process. Number 5 is a state complaint. Even bigger than a civil lawsuit, and that's asking the state to step in. And so in addition to the options that I've just given you you can also file a state complaint about a school's violation of IDEA within 1 year. And this is basically a letter to the State Department of Education asking for an investigation. Organizations and groups of parents can file state complaints. For instance, you can get together with other parents and file a state complaint if you see a school issue that affects, multiple children. Once the complaint is filed, the state can investigate and decide if the school violated IDEA. States have their own rules on how these complaints are handled, and so make sure that you're aware of those as you navigate this process. And once again, it might be good to consult an educational lawyer to find out what the laws are specifically in your state. Finally, there's the Office for Civil Rights Complaints. And that is going to the federal government. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act protects students with IEPs from discrimination. Section 504, it gives you even more options. And so the most important is a complaint to the Office for Civil Rights, or the OCR, of the United States Department of Education. And an OCR complaint has to be filed within 180 days of the school's violation. And so you see how tight these timelines are. And so just like with a state complaint, an OCR complaint could lead to investigation of the school. And so if you want more in-depth information about that, I encourage you to visit the OCR's website. Or hit me up and I can do a little more digging for you, or hit you back with some resources. All right. So let me know if you need anything. Talk to y'all soon.